Live Fire Media Show, episode number 15, where we talk about guns, gear, games, movies,
Cat.
cats, pretty much anything that drives and pushes us forward. Your hosts tonight are the always entertaining and sometimes FUD Hunter Elliott of RangeHut.com
And Captain Sweet Pea.
and apparently Captain Sweet Pea.
Captain Sweet Pea is here to shed. Oh, shed!
Boo! Are you good now?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Please introduce yourself, Iron Man.
Yeah, if you listen, then you know that I'm known as Iron Man to Hunter, otherwise to some Dave from High Point. So join us as we ramble on for a bit about who knows what. How you doing, buddy?
You know, man, I'm good. I'm tired. Been working, but I'm good. I really have no complaints. The good Lord has blessed me very good. That sounded really. Was that grammarly? Jeez, was that grammatically correct?
You were saying?
Yeah. The good Lord has blessed me with so much, except for the ability to speak on command. So
okay.
Yeah,
everybody can be a little acoustic from time to time.
Acoustic. I couldn't even think of nothing to say. That's obviously a faux pas in my world. How about you, Killer? Let's talk about you. Let's shine the spotlight on Kawaka 40. What does the 47 mean in that, by the way?
It's a long story, but obviously it's my Instagram handle, but it's a long story.
Oh. It's going to be longer than an hour and a half?
Not really, but we'll hit that another day.
Yes.
Leave you wondering. Yeah, I got several things. I'm doing good. I have nothing to complain about. You know, kids are out of school, so I can get up later in the morning for go to work, and that's always kind of nice. But yeah, no, man, I've got a bunch of things we can chat about. Some things little and stupid. Some things, I don't know, a little bit of everything.
Okay, well, I'm all ears, brother, as I always am.
Well, I can start with one. I think I sent you the photo
of the blowed up.
I blew up a suppressor.
You did it? You were running the gun.
I was the one pulling the trigger. So,
do you want to pull that photo up for the crowd, or have you got it?
I don't have it on my PC.
All right, look right here.
I can pull up my phone. Here you go, Hunter. Just grab his phone, and there you go.
Good Lord!
I'm pretty sure that was a Sciencerco Hybrid 46. I think.
Yeah, was.
Like I said, not my can.
Hey, right, you got a good look at that.
Yeah, so this happened yesterday. We were on the range with High Point, testing out the HP-15s and running. What was the setup? It was
Oh no, let me blow that up a little bit.
Close up of the
yummy
outer skin peeling away.
It almost looks like it's circumcised.
Dude, here's the crazy thing. I didn't take a photo of my phone of the other half of the can. It's in pretty good shape. Like, no palpable strike, no nothing.
All right, so first question.
Yeah, go for it.
And this is probably the question that everybody's just dying to ask. What is it that you were wearing that day? What did you have for breakfast? What automobile were you traveling in?
Let's see. I didn't have anything for breakfast. I had just water. Rode in a Chevy Silverado up to the range. Had Papa John's pizza for lunch. I was wearing my black Achilles heel tactical Ohio Range Day T-shirt.
That was sexy.
It was pretty sexy.
I guarantee it. You got a picture of that? Text it.
No.
Okay. Seriously though, I'm just right on your cage. What happened?
It's a good question. So, like I started telling you before, the whole day we were testing the High Point HP-15s. These were all guns that the High Point people had built themselves, because one's NRA we actually had built for us because it was a last minute thing.
Okay.
So these are actually like
pre-production.
No, I don't want to say that, because they can be sold. The fact that we shot the shit out of them, they'll be sold to the employees. But so I mean, they're the first runs that they built themselves.
Okay.
And we ran 10 mags through each rifle, and as fast of a session as you could shoot. I brought my kid with me. I mean, Mason came up and would stand there and just pull the trigger, pow, 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 magazine out, hand it, get another one, slap it in, go. And,
just testing the durability, reliability,
and
making sure it functions.
Yeah, and their build quality,
300 rounds in rapid succession is it's a little excessive.
They got hot, dude.
Oh, I guarantee it did.
I mean, yeah, I think by in the third magazine, you couldn't hold the handguard. You were back on the magwell.
Oh, yeah.
And by the sixth mag, you were holding the magazine because the magwell was getting too damn hot too.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, we were dumping them, dude.
So by the 10th mag, it had to have been smoke rolling off of it.
We couldn't put them on the tables because they were melting the tables.
Wow.
And we run like some Federal, some UMC, some Aguila, some Barnoul, mix everything, just get them a good pace of the running. But we were pretty much done with that, and it was the point we were going to change over to 300 blackout. Before we could go 300 blackout, we were clearing the table of 5.56. So there's no ammo mixture up here. That's not what happened. But decided to goof off a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. We started doing suppressor testing. They had several of their cans. They mounted their guns. There's Mason waving. Tried to run some cans, see how they'd run with the suppressors on them. Various cans. I don't even remember what they were because it doesn't matter.
Just checking bolt overspeed, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, just making sure everything was cycle all right because it's kind of one of those, even with the regular high point guns, like Joe was telling me the other day, the guy called in and said he was running one of the threaded C9s with the suppressor on it. And he was like, okay, well, what kind of can is it? The guy was like, oh, well, it's one I made myself. Joe's like, okay, well, I can't tell you much, man. Like, if the gun runs out the can, well, clearly the can's causing some malfunctions and issues, but there's only so much I can address to you on that,
I mean, did he even have the correct kind of Nielsen device on it?
Again, don't even know. But it was
Right.
the point of just saying he knows they'll take the suppressor questions with the AR is kind of the same way. It's going to be like, does the gun run without the can on it? If it does, then it's something with the suppressor, and you're kind of on your own. We're not here to figure out what combination. Too much.
Well, and that being said, Dave, not to cut you off, but, I don't know how many high points I've tested, but every one you've ever sent me with a threaded barrel, I've run at least 3 or 4 different types of cans on it from manufacturers.
Right.
And it's never impacted reliability or accuracy with or without the can.
Right.
And I've ran the pistols and rifles with the fixed barrel adapter and also against advisement with the Nielsen device.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I've brought that multiple times. I've talked about that. That I've typically left a typical Nielsen device in the cans when I've ran the high point handguns. I don't think I've ever actually ran a fixed barrel adapter on them.
I've done it both.
Which I think this is we were talking about this in the work today. I'm kind of getting sidetracked here. How much of that has to do with fixed barrels is more thinking for rifles than as a handgun, because the high point frame is still going to flex like anything else.
Right.
Yeah, the frames, the barrel's attached to the frame, so maybe you do kind of need the Nielsen device as opposed to running just a fixed barrel adapter. I don't know.
Well, and I don't want to get you sidetracked here at all because I'm very interested in what you're talking about. But the Nielsen device essentially, and I'm sure you know this, acts as a clutch. The pistol,
yeah,
even all handguns are recoil operated.
Yeah.
Except for like the Desert Eagle and stuff that are gas operated.
Right.
But the vast majority, and I know we're going to talk about a tilting barrel on a link, but that still works off a recoil.
Right.
And so that Nielsen device serves as a clutch.
Don't put my face be a jerk. Don't.
That Nielsen device serves as a clutch to separate the mass of the can from the barrel, so you're not having that. You're not tripling the barrel mass while you're trying to tilt it down.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's separating the mass to allow the gun to work.
Yeah.
Now, I have run handguns from High Point with the Nielsen device and with a fixed barrel adapter, Dave, and they run fine either or. So, but excuse me, but I'm just trying to preempt any questions from somebody who's going to ask about it.
Oh, for sure. And that's the funny thing, too. It's so easy to get, sidetracked in what we know and you're talking about shit and the people don't know, and we might look at something and think it is a stupid question when the reality is
It's
you,
not.
well, you got to go backwards a lot of times and readdress shit. Not everybody knows everything. Everybody is new at some point in time, and it's always good whenever you're talking about shit to go back and re-explain the things for the newbies. Anybody else that's like, oh God, get on with it already. Yeah, well, sorry, you're gonna suffer through this part.
Yeah, nobody was born knowing it all.
So, anyways, we ran these guns with cans. They ran fine, and we were to the point we were ready to go to a 300 blackout. And like I said, there was no mixture of ammo, so don't even go there. That's not what happened. It was just a matter of let's have a little fun. One of the guys had a couple super safeties. I had an FRT lower, which is a force efficient trigger, so it kind of shoots. I don't say it's like full auto, but it's faster than what most people can do.
And we talked about that last podcast, right?
I don't know.
We talked a little bit about the force reset trigger.
Okay,
well, you had to explain to me what it was.
Okay, yeah. Again, if you don't know, it's a trigger that forces your finger to reset. You're still pulling the trigger every time, but depending on the ammo, you can get some really fast high rates of fire. Well, I threw that lower. We threw one of the suppressed uppers. No, we didn't. We had an unsuppressed upper. We threw on my FRT lower, and I gave a quick demo of it. So everybody was like, "Oh, holy crap, that's really fast!" So then several guys took turns, grabbed magazines because we had to empty the magazines because we needed them for 300 blackout. So they'd grab mags, run a couple mags. A lot of people had never had full auto. You watch them rise real heavy, and then learn to control. Some didn't. They just rose every burst. It was kind of like first shot, third shot, first shot, third shot. It was fun. Yeah, right. And then at one point, one of the guys grabbed a upper with a suppressor on. And he goes, "Hey, we'll run with this." And I was like, I've ran mine suppressed like that. Like, swap it out. It ran suppressed. So again, went through, cycle everybody, giving it a shot, dumping a mag, half mag, whatever it was, running suppressed. Everybody learning the gassiness of DI guns, how much gas you get thrown in your face. So at one point, they gave me a whole magazine. I literally did a deep breath.
Hang on, stop, pause.
What?
DI.
Direct impingement.
Right, but a lot of people are not going to know the difference between direct impingement and a piston gun. So,
well, I typically want to think ARs, in the layman's term, ARs are direct impingement guns.
The vast majority are.
Even a lot of your piston guns out there don't even really exist anymore. I mean, you have the HK416, but that's technically not an AR.
Right.
The SIG MCX is not an AR technically.
Right.
Same with the BRN 180, which these are all piston guns, whereas AR-15s are a direct gas impingement, so gas is cycling your action.
Right. You don't have a piston breaking the gas cycle like an AK or an M1A or an M1 Garand.
Your gas is going straight from the barrel through gas tube down to the receiver, pushing your bolt carrier back, cycling the gun. But the downside, if you suppress those things, then they tend to be a bit more gas in your face coming out of the receiver
you got some
in every way possible. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, from the charging handle ports to hell, I had gas burning my finger at one point coming down from the trigger group. I mean, it was that hot. I could feel that shit. We were only down to a few mags left. So one of the engineers, he starts handing magazines. And I was like, "Oh, we got more?" They're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I was just putting them in, mag dumping. My magazine, mag dump. Nothing crazy.
Let me stop here again.
Sure.
For those that are, now you're talking, this sounds like a bit of a tumultuous range time, but I think it's also worth pointing out that it requires a tremendous amount of effort on the forward assist to chamber a 300 black in a 5.56 upper. Just in case somebody's thinking maybe like they accidentally handed you a mag.
Well, that's why I keep saying there was no ammo mix-up whatsoever.
Right.
This was not that.
I'm just helping.
It was completely separate away from us. So everything we had was all the 5.56 that we finished testing guns and had too many mags loaded. So it's kind of like we got a mag dump on.
But I'm just trying to reiterate that even if somebody handed you a 300 black mag and you stuck it in the gun and you hit the bolt release, it would be a stoppage.
I mean, but there's guys what are the kabooms guys are doing then? Putting a 5.56 in a 300 black?
Well, you've seen
plenty of exploded receivers from people mixing those two up.
Yeah, but so from what I've heard, and I guess case overall lanes could have a lot to do with it. But if the bolt isn't quite in battery, you bang on that forward assist.
Right. Well,
and then because I've tried to do it. I took a Barnes rifle.
Yeah, I have not.
And I stuck I pulled the bolt to the rear. I stuck a 300 black mag in a 5.56 and I hit the bolt release. and it did not go to battery. It was a failure to return a battery. So anyway,
I honestly don't know how those kabooms happen. I've just seen enough pictures online of receivers exploded from guys mixing those two calibers up. So I don't know. I don't know. But all I can tell you is, I was in mid mag, a couple rounds. All of a sudden I heard a louder pop, and I saw my peripheral, and I went, "What the hell?" And I break the gun. I'm looking, and I see the can half blown off, and everybody else caught on the same time. And one of our guys goes, "I saw it go down range." We're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, if that had been 300 black, it'd have blew the receiver up, not the can, because the bullet ain't going to make its way all the way through to the muzzle.
Right. No, it was correct. The can was big enough, but obviously the barrel spec is not. So no, the thing, it blew up. It blew in half.
On 5.56.
Yes, there was no 300 blackout involved in this whatsoever. This was all 5.56. So we went and found the other end, but had to carry it back on some rocks because it was so damn hot. Set it up, and we looked at it. We let it cool off, and you grab the piece of shutdown range and the upper and the rest of the can. It made it right back on. It literally looked like the outer, hull of the suppressor. Like there's a weak point, and it just popped and peeled.
Let me ask you this: since you're getting these guns hot, and we actually touched on this a few podcasts ago about QD versus direct thread.
Right.
Could there have been a chance that it got so hot that QD mount let that can sag a bit, and when it went through and the bullet didn't find a hole, then it peeled that can. All of a sudden, all that energy, all that. I don't know. I'm just theorizing.
No. You're cool. You're cool. Here's the crazy thing. So I took the back of the can off once it cooled down, and I unlocked it and ratcheted it off. It was on. It wasn't like loose by any means. And when you looked at both halves, you couldn't see a single baffle strike or anything. And like I said, you put it back together, and to me, it looked like the outer layer just had a weak spot. Maybe it was a bad weld that was good enough on QC. But
how long a barrel? 16-inch barrel?
I think it was a 16-inch gun.
If it was a 7 or 10, I could believe that it would blow a can apart. But a 16?
It could have been a 10.5. Hold on, I'm trying to see if I can look.
If it was a 10.5, because you think about the shorter the barrel, the more violent of a.
Okay, it was a 10.5.
There you go. There you go. So now we're starting to figure this out a little bit, I think.
That was it.
So
where it goes kaboom.
I think now what you're talking about, because that the shorter the barrel.
Oh shit!
You didn't get the explosion on. Oh, that's it. Boom.
Yep.
That had to have been just Dave, like a little SBR like that, or pistol, what have you. The shorter the barrel, the more violent of a report and muzzle flash you're going to get.
Sure.
10.5 versus 16-inch.
Yeah.
It tames a lot. I say a lot, but
No, you're right. It does. It does tame it a lot in a 16-inch versus 10.5. The 4 inches makes a huge difference. But
it really does.
Look when you go 16 to 20. Look how much difference it is.
So perhaps that little shorty barrel with that and now y'all have been shooting that can all day. It gotten hot.
Not all day, just a short while, but it was ridiculously hot.
So
when we poured water on it, it evaporated instantly.
So I wonder if y'all had run the can hard, got it hot, and then that little short barrel with that it's trying to hold it in it because it looks like it doesn't look like a baffle strike. It doesn't look like a tear. It looks like an explosion.
Yeah.
So
it was wild, dude. First time it happened to me before. So I blow up a can.
Did you have to dig your damn Fruit of the Loons out of the crack of your ass when that went off?
No, it just caught me off guard at first because obviously I had ear pro on, and so it was a louder pop, and of course you even felt it, the recoil difference.
Right.
It was kind of like
longer had
something's not right here, and literally it was like I brake and I'm going, oh shit. I felt bad because it wasn't my can.
Whose can was it?
Owner High Point. It was
Well,
Joe's.
I like that.
I mean, Joe was laughing about it. He goes, "Well, all right, that happened." I was like, "Sorry, dude." I was like, "It was the engineer's fault. He was handing magazines."
Are you going to send the can back to the manufacturer?
He's gonna send it back. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about who the manufacturer is, or would you rather not? Or do you not know?
Oh, I know who it is.
You just probably don't want to say.
You know what? We're so far backlogged on uploading these things to the internet. It's not gonna matter. It's a Silencer Co.
Mm.
I think it was the. Oh shit! I can't remember now off the top of my head what it was. I looked the picture up today because even a buddy from Silencer Co. He texted me because he saw my Instagram story and he was like, "Dude, what can was that?" And I thought it was an Omega, and then going back, it was something else. I don't remember, dude. I don't know. I don't know their model
I'm
numbers.
assuming it was absolutely rated for 5.56, right?
Oh yeah. Oh god, it was rated for everything. It was like one of their dual everything cans, full auto rated, the whole 9 yards.
Well, you know what? I can tell you this: if that had been a B&T, it wouldn't have happened.
Oh my god.
I'm a B&T fanboy, baby.
Nothing wrong with fanboys because I'm an HK fanboy. I mean, I've got. Look at this beautiful thing right here. Look at that. Look at that.
Has it always been that ugly?
Oh, fuck you.
Man. I mean, all right.
You need more HK? There you go. I got some more HK for you. Yeah, look at that.
God,
yeah, look at that. So, okay. Yeah, that happened. That was, what was today?
Well, nobody was injured. Nobody got hurt. So
I told you I was, okay. I'll add more to that. Yeah, I was behind the trigger. Joe, owner High Point, he was actually filming that video footage.
Okay.
And believe it or not, some of the shrap from the can hit him in the leg, and he had like 4 different holes in his pant leg on the inside of his
Get
sock.
out.
Yeah, I joked. I was like, hey, good thing I got a tourniquet. I mean, it didn't break the skin, but yeah.
But it had enough to, what do you have, like
holes
on?
No, like a outdoor pants, like range
like
pants.
Carhartt or something.
Tactical pants. I don't know, like a range pant, like a khaki.
It was something, it had enough force to go through a pair of breeches.
4 holes.
That's an explosion. That's
from groin down to like the ankle.
That's that little short barrel blowing that fucking can up.
It was wild.
Is there a barrel length restriction on that can?
Yes, and we were beyond it. I think that was like 7.5, 8 inch, something like that. We were at 10, so technically we were fine. Like I said, we were all within the parameters of it, man. I think it's just a fluke thing, honestly.
Oh.
That's something we kind of talked about. Was like when people even put full auto rated on their cans, what does that really mean? Like I know some people put videos out showing their cans getting white hot, red hot, until they finally destroy, and they put countless bloody rounds on a saw.
So this is how I understand it, and I could be wrong, but then I was actually talking with my buddy with B&T about this. To be full auto rated, the military has a protocol that you have to go through their proving grounds with your can, and you complete their protocol, and then once you complete all their protocols, they issue you an NSN number.
Okay.
And when you get that NSN number, that will allow you then to bid on and sell to the military.
Okay.
So, as I understand it, to really say we're full auto rated and it be held to a standard, then it's the military standard to obtain an NSN number.
Okay.
And if I'm wrong, somebody please correct me, but that's how I understand it.
Okay, but again, but like, what is that standard then? How many mags? How many rounds?
It's a belt fed standard.
Okay, so that's a shit ton then. That's because I would think like in M4 AR, you're probably gonna kill the gun before the can, really and truly.
Right. I mean, I'll reach out to Chris and ask him if he knows the protocol. And as a matter of fact, I interviewed him at SHOT Show about some of their new cans, and he talked about getting NSN numbers through the military protocol testing and what it took. So let me dig into that, brother, and I'll see what I can find.
I'd be curious to know. Be curious. I mean, you want to keep it guns? Or you want to go off on? I've got one.
I'm gonna be straight with you. As typical, I'm ill prepared.
I don't care.
I've been fucking with my truck all day.
That's why I love the intro. And Hunter's going to talk about a truck.
Yeah, yeah. I went and got tires on it.
Okay,
Yep.
we're going to talk about it. Here we go.
Now, well, no, I'm just gonna give you the week.
The
And we
Reader's
got
Digest, the
tires
Reader's
on it.
Digest version.
$2,300. I get,
Right, I remember you saying
and
that.
I'm driving home, and my steering wheel's cockered.
Oh, Jesus.
And it really wasn't before, but also I went with a 2 sizes larger and a far more aggressive
Right,
tread.
right,
So I went to get the front end lined up,
right.
and the guy's like, well, your drag link and both these tie rods are at or out of spec.
Right.
So he's like, if you want me to line this and the alignment stay true, then we got to rebuild this front end. So that was another almost $1,000. I leave there. I get about 6 miles down the road, and my left front brake caliper starts dragging.
Oh, God.
So today we put on new hoses, new calipers, new brakes on the front end, which is to the tune of about another $400. So that's $3,700 I spent this week.
Oh, my God. Money pit.
Dude. I mean, you want to buy an 89 F350?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I told you I need new tires for my FJ, and I'm probably getting my due for brakes too on that. So no, I'm good.
Man, I tell you,
I'm gonna ride that till fall if I can.
I got some Cooper mud terrains, and now they are a very aggressive tire. They've got good tread, good knobby tread.
It's been a while. I've used Cooper in my old truck. I use Cooper.
Yeah, and then they got like side lugs.
Mm-hmm.
And they are load rated, so they are load rated off road tires. So when you ask for load rated off road tires, they automatically and I got to put 6 of them on there.
Oh, that's right, the Thule. God,
Yeah,
that sucks.
so cha-ching. Anyway, so I've been fucking with that all day. So in my mind, I'm just like, come on, I need a break on this thing. I just need something to finally work.
Right.
And here's the thing, and I'll be done with it. When I talked to the guys I took it to a place called Atlantic Alignment and Brake. Very knowledgeable people, very nice. Like, the guy didn't say your front ends were out. The technician come, he said, hey, Hunter, I want you to come and follow me.
Right.
And he had the truck up, and he grabbed the tire, and he's shaking the tire, and you could see the ball joint moving not the ball joint, but the steering knuckle moving
right.
in the
tire. You're going, oh, shit.
So he shows it to me and then he's like, look, I can try to line it, but I don't think it's safe. And it ain't. So people, but those are the original front end components from Ford.
I mean, it's an 89.
89.
I mean, that ain't half bad, man.
And the guy was like,
I'll give you shit for saying it's a Ford, but still, that ain't bad.
Like, these are all this. It's got FOMOCO, on the parts. It's like, this is all. He said all these front end components are all original to the truck.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. So what I think it is, Dave, is the guy I think that bought the truck that I bought it from. He bought it from the original owner, and I think the original owner sold it about the time it was time to do a bunch of shit.
Right.
And then the guy I bought it from was like, he was piddling on it.
Right.
And then he had to have knee surgery and he couldn't drive a manual no more. And he showed me the scar on his knee, yeah, long. And so, and he did.
It had been sitting for a while, hadn't it?
A year.
A year, okay.
Yeah, he'd had it a year. And he's like, every few months I try to take it out because I don't want to sell it. And he said, I get up next day, I can't move my fucking leg. And his wife was out there. He's like, you need to sell that truck. And I'm like, oh, my God. So anyway, and he did say, look, man, when I bought this truck, it had a laundry list of problems. I've made my way through about half of them. And I'm going to show you what I know. Anyway, so it's God going, hey, son, do you remember when you had that 79 one-ton truck and you remember it so fondly? but here, remember.
It's not going to be that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now that I remember, I'm like, I work on that son of a bitch all the time.
Well, okay. Here's a segue. Let's roll this into new car designs. My sinus has been killing me since morning. I got up. I stuck too much snot down my sleep last night, so my stomach was killing me on the way in. So I was like, I gotta grab some breakfast. Just rolled through, get a quick burrito from Chick-fil-A, and I saw one of the county sheriff's deputies was in front of me, and he was in one of the newer. They're in the Ford Explorers, and looking at it, it was just a good side profile the way he was sitting there, and I was like, man, I remember the Ford Explorer actually was like a truck.
Yeah.
Like it was a boxy square truck. This thing looked like a fucking car. It looked like a station wagon, more or less.
I think they call those crossovers now.
Well, that's what I was getting. Yeah, my wife had a Honda, what was it, Cross Tour, which was like one of the first gen crossovers because it set higher than a car, but it was bigger. But her car was a car. But yeah, you look at the Ford Explorer, it's like, dude, it looks like a car. What happened to the sport utility vehicle? That shit is gone. I'm not going to go off a tangent and say like all new designs suck because that's not the case. But what is happening with like SUVs, man? They're all just like shit anymore.
My mama had I think it was a 92-ish Ford Explorer.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a box. It looked like a Ford box.
Yeah.
Eddie Bauer edition, 4-wheel drive.
Because my dad had a Blazer and my uncle had the Explorer, and they were like very, very similar in how they were. I remember those years.
It had a little 4-liter V6 in it.
Right.
Great truck.
Yeah.
Mom's driving down the road. Dude goes into a diabetic coma at 55.
Oh shit.
Crosses through the ditch and hits my mom head on in that Explorer, and she was probably running 40. Yeah, it was a headlight to headlight, head on collision.
Holy crap!
Now Mama had her seatbelt on. She walked away from it.
I was gonna say she walked away, didn't she?
Now it total lost that Explorer.
Right.
But she was sore as hell and banged up.
Oh yeah.
But she walked away from it, and old boy, he was toe up.
I bet
he was in a car. And
yeah, because the Explorer was a truck.
It had a damn steel frame. It had a big old steel bumper. So people give me shit about this old truck that I got, but it's a truck.
It's a real truck, yeah.
You know my buddy Chad. I love Chad. So he's got.
Hopefully, Chad listens eventually to our show.
He got a 2019 F250 4-door. I mean, it's a $100,000 truck, and it's nice. That thing is nice. Oh, you saw it when we went and got my Cadillac. We stopped by your house. Remember?
Oh God, vaguely. I mean,
all right. So anyway,
yeah, but it's a big ass truck. Yeah.
Yeah, his tail light goes out. You got to buy a whole tail light assembly for like $1,100.
What a load of shit.
And I'm like, I got to buy an 1157 bulb. They're like 80 cents at the AutoZone. So, I mean,
right.
Well,
it's like my FJ. It's a 2009. I got my kids referred to as a truck. It is one of the last generation's actual sport utility vehicles. It's lifted. It's got big ass tires on it. All my lights, I've swapped all my personally out to LEDs just because I can for the fun of it. But it's still a truck. It's not a car.
Right.
What the hell, man?
It's got upper and lower body massage.
Yeah, I mean, like
heated and cooled seats.
Don't get me wrong, that shit's cool.
Oh, it's nice now.
Yeah, it's cool, but is it still a truck? Would you actually want to take that thing off road? I highly doubt it.
I mean,
you're gonna break so many sensors that cost you thousands more than actual body work would.
Right. Right. In my old truck. I mean, the other day I was dragging my stump grinder through somebody's beat up yard. And
right.
I just put it in 4 high. Got and it was slipping and sliding and slinging mud, but I mean it was fine.
Right.
It was and I'm like, I wouldn't get my nice truck out here and do this.
Dude, at Thanksgiving, I go to my buddy's house and we shoot clay birds Thanksgiving morning. Like we start 10 a.m. And the one year it was pretty soppy out there from raining like several days before, and there were several dudes in Fords and Chevys both in their very deluxe nice trucks.
Mm-hmm.
But all these guys have flat out road tires on their trucks, and guess what? They got stuck because they parked in my buddy's field. Right. Guess what vehicle pulled them out of that mud?
Your truck.
My FJ, my 6-cylinder FJ. I was like, I'll pull you guys out. And buddy's like, your little Toyota ain't gonna do shit. My buddy Brad just goes, dude, stop. He'll pull you out. Watch. You know, I pulled other trucks out before. Like, yeah, because why? And my thing is built to have the torque and the leverage to pull your ass out of shit. You know, it's like these trucks. They're not even trucks anymore, man. They look like a truck. I mean, if it's an actual like Ford, Chevy, Dodge, it looks like a truck.
Yeah.
Is it really a truck though? Is it really built and geared like a truck? I mean, like some of them are. I mean, but most of them are not.
So I went the other day. My cousin, they had these tree guys that were trimming the trees around the power lines.
Okay.
And they had bought this massive F800 bucket truck with a big, commercial truck.
Okay.
Big bucket truck with a chip box on it, and it was full of debris, and it had tools and shit on it. And they had drove in my cousin's yard with this thing, and they had got it stuck. And they had got it stuck. And the problem was that it was going down, like they had pointed the nose downhill.
Right.
So when he put it in reverse, it started digging a trench.
Right.
But then he couldn't go forward, because when he tried to go forward, the tires were turned, but it was so sloppy, it was about to hit my cousin's garage.
Oh God.
So he had got himself in a hucklepuck. So my cousin calls me and he goes, "Hey man, can you bring your truck up here and get these guys unstuck?" And I'm like, "What's stuck?" And he said, "It's a big old bucket truck, dude.
Right.
It's almost to the pumpkin." And I said, "I'll bring my tractor up there." And I'll show you. It's a little John Deere 5205, 56 horsepower, 4-wheel drive,
Right.
So I drove up to my cousin's house in my John Deere, and the foreman was there, and they were this rocket surgeon and got out, and he had hooked the line to the front of the truck, and the other side was going to a 4-door long bed Ford 2-wheel drive. And I'm talking to the guy, and I'm like, "Hey man, now, I took a number of off-road recovery classes in the military, because initially my MOS was 3521. We did it was third echelon mechanic, and then we had to go we had to get CDLs on all the trucks, and then we had to go through a number of off-road recovery classes. So I know a little bit about it.
Sure.
And I get there and I'm talking to the foreman, and I'm like, "Hey man, what are you going to do with this 2-wheel drive truck on wet grass?" And it's like, "Well, I'm going to, he said, this truck it's going downhill, so all I got to do is give it a little tug." And I said, "Well, you can see the tires are turned and it's still going straight." I said, "So you start tugging on it, and you do get it to come loose, it's just going to go right through the garage," which is fine with me. It's not my garage.
Right.
And the dude looks at me, and my tractor weighs 6,000 pounds.
Okay.
And this truck, I'm sure loaded, is probably, it was an F800, so I think they spec out about 33,000 pounds.
Okay.
And it had a chip box on it, and it had a lot. I mean, it was a heavy truck. I guarantee it was 25,000 pounds. And I was like, "I'll pull it out, my tractor," and he goes, "There's no fucking way. No way that little tractor is going to pull that truck out."
Where there's a will, there's a way.
And I said, "Bro, there's so much to pull this drive, and it ain't even going to know your bullshit." And he's like, "Nope." And so what he learned that day is low gears equals leverage.
Right.
They hooked the chain up. I hooked it to the damn drawbar on my tractor. I put it in low. Didn't even lock the front end. Let out the clutch. It pulled the slack up in the chain. And then, I felt the front end kind of bump up a little bit, and they just walked.
Sure.
And he's like, we're good, I got it. And he's on the brakes, and I'm like, "What? Well, are you clear?" I pulled that stomach all the way to the gravel.
Oh my God.
And so your FJ pulling those big Fords out, it's got the low gears, man.
Yeah.
Gears is leverage, and those trucks were built to pull.
Yeah.
So anyway, and I took pictures. Like I hooked my tractor up and snapped a picture while I was pulling it out. I don't think they're forming like that very much.
A funny one, totally related, was years ago. Like my first, I think it was the first week I used to have my FJ. Me and a buddy went shooting another buddy's property, like some farm property, and he warned us not to go. There's like 4 walls to a building they'd started building decades ago, never finished. And he warned us, don't pull down closer to it because the ground's too soft. You'll sink your shit. And I forget why my buddy decided to pull down there in his Trailblazer, which I think it was a 4x4, but again, street tires, SUV, doesn't matter. It's not gonna do shit. And he drove it down there, and literally it sank to the door jams.
Oh no!
Yeah, and so he's stepping out in mud. His kid's stepping out in mud. We put ropes through his trailer hitch, hooked to mine. I'm just trying to pull him out while he's got it in reverse. It's not working. He calls his buddy, lives on the property, and he comes up and he goes, Dave, pull 25 yards up that way. I won't bring this rope around. And he basically ended up making a pulley with ropes and trees. And then with the pulleys, and I still pulled the truck out of the mud then. But it was wild to think of using the trees as pulleys. I'd never done anything like that before.
Well, you double your pulling power.
And I never didn't even think of it like that. I was just thinking, how am I straight up not being able to do this, but yet this way I can, and pulled his shit out. But that was the first time I pulled something out of my FJ. I'm like, damn, this thing's kind of sweet. I like this truck, But again, it's a truck.
Exactly. I'm trying to find a picture. I had a '79 F350 on 44-inch Super Swampers, man, and I'm trying to find a photograph of it. Oh, you want to see something sexy?
Oh God, here we go.
Hold on to your hard hat there, fella. Look at that sexy little young Marine right there. That's me, baby. Look, I got my Ranger panties on.
That's hilarious.
Woo.
Yeah, it's. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like a hypocrite at times. Like, I'm totally a technology guy. I'm into technology. I'm into tech stuff. But also, because I'm a product of the 80s and 90s and grew up watching Terminator in 2001, like I have the built-in ingrained fear of like some of this AI tech is getting too scary and crazy. And you look at these trucks, then they're so bloody computerized. You get in the slice little fender bender, and the big expense isn't the body work. It's all the sensors are going to be replaced because they're all smashed to shit from a little fender bender that any other truck you'd have been like, oh, hey, let me pop your dent. I'll have the truck back to you in an afternoon.
Yeah.
It's just like, man, I can't get behind that. Plus now they charge like $100,000 for a fucking truck. It's like, and this is stupid, man.
I got a 2014 F350 contractor's dump, 6.7 power stroke. I'm gonna tell you what, Dave. As far as just a pulling truck, I could put 3 yards, 4 yards of crushing run in the back of it, 8,000 pounds, and I could pull my 10,000 pound excavator at 75 miles an hour, and that truck won't break a sweat.
Right.
That's impressive. However, when that little check engine light comes on, you got to go somewhere with a computer.
Yeah.
And they plug that computer in, and the way it goes is if you got like 3 problems, the first problem it recognizes, right? And this is the guy at Ford explaining this to me. You got to fix the first problem.
Right.
Whether it's a sensor, before the computer will tell you what else is going on.
Right. What kind of logic shit is that?
It's like, okay, well, you've got this EGR sensor gone out, but there's 3 more problems. Okay, but you got to fix this sensor first. Well, what if all 3 problems are with the EGR? We just placed the fucking EGR.
Right.
And, but no, it won't even advance. And I'm like, that's
backed up, man.
Old shit. I mean, you can go out there and fix it relatively easy. I mean, we did all that shit today in the dirt, in the yard with a fucking floor track. And
they don't want you doing that shit now.
No,
none of it. I don't get me wrong. I'm not a mechanic by any means. Like I don't know how to do shit other than an oil change and change some fluids out. But I've worked with other friends back in the day as kids growing up. Buddies, stepdad, like overseeing us working on something, and the fact that you could do it, and now you open the hood. For one, you open the hood. There's no room. Somebody told me the new the Jeep Wagoneer, they're like suburban style Jeep, that if you've got to do like almost anything with the engine, they pretty much have to take the entire cab off of that thing.
Same with Fords.
And it's just like, what?
I had
I mean, dear God, man.
in 2008, I bought a 2007 certified pre-owned BMW 550.
Yeah, I remember when you got that.
Love that car.
I've been in that car.
You absolutely have. Love that car. However, my buddy Jesse, that owns the car place, told me, he said, don't let it set for more than a week, 10 days without starting.
Really?
I was like, why? Because there's so much computer shit on this car, constantly monitoring it, that if you don't start it every 7 to 10 days, it could drop that battery below the 12 volts. And
Holy shit.
You start getting warnings about low battery.
Oh my God.
He said, at least once a month, go out there and start that car and drive it down the road and get it to operating temperature.
Right.
At least let that thing idle for, a half hour.
Wow.
Because or put a trickle charge on it,
Right.
And dude, I kind of thought he was full of shit. And when I got my Cadillac, I just drive that BMW for like a month.
Oh shit.
So I'm like, I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna,
hold dash lights up with it. It was shit.
I'll fucking hit the go button, load this, load that. And what BMW does is when your battery gets a certain level, it starts shutting off stuff.
Right.
And so like my clock didn't work, the radio didn't work, a lot of shit wouldn't come on, low battery, Christmas tree.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? And so I'm like, I drove it all around, drove about 40 minutes, and then lights start going off, and the alternator brought the battery back up to full charge.
Wow.
It was fine.
What a trip.
You really do need to run that thing at least every couple weeks.
That's wild. I mean, I can't say I'm not surprised by it. I mean, yeah, you put that much computerized shit into it, and it is always on. I don't care if you turn the car off. Shit is still on. It really is.
All that stuff it's sitting there waiting to get started. It's like,
right.
So you start, I'm going into action. So it's standby mode, and it's still, and it's not drawing a lot of current.
Right.
But it's still, so anyway, the convenience and the efficiency is one. But there's
you got garbled there. What was that?
About the simplicity that I could go out there and work on it with, I don't have to go and buy a Snap-on Vans worth of tools,
right?
To do most anything on these vehicles. Whereas, my 2014 F350, I open the hood and I'm like, there's the air cleaner.
Right.
Okay. I don't even change the oil in that truck.
Yeah.
I buy the oil and I take it somewhere, because if something happens, that's a damn $14,000-$15,000 engine.
Yep.
I ain't gonna want to be liable for that shit.
Nope, absolutely not.
Anyway,
that's wild, man.
Get off on that. But
No, you're good. Remember, this is our show, dude. All right, here we'll swing back to guns, because this is a topic. I was talking to Patrick from TNTE the other day.
Yeah.
And he was bitching about working on some 308 stuff, some AR-10 stuff. That's what I started talking to him. I said, man, I forget what exactly he said, but it was more differences than what I realized there are in AR-10s. Because I always thought, obviously, magazines are not the same. Like, there's a couple different style magazines. But even he was saying front sight blocks, gas blocks. He was like, the uppers, all of it's different.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, you would think they'd have that shit standardized by now. And that's where he laughs. He goes, well, because there is no Mil-Spec on AR-10s. I was like, I know. I'm like, and that kind of got my mind thinking. I'm like, it's funny. Like, High Point brought out the HP-15s this year, and it was a double-edged sword of like talking about saying they're Mil-Spec guns, because some people turn their fucking nose to that. Other people were like, oh yeah. And it's like, in the reality, you need to understand and find the line of what Mil-Spec really means. It doesn't mean it's because of the cheapest contractor. It means it's a standardized line of where everything should be. So you look at AR-10s, and good luck with that shit. If you're gonna buy a built AR-10, there's the thing. Buy a built AR-10. Don't build one your damn self. And buy one that the magazines that it takes, and you're not gonna have problems with it. But because there is no mil-spec on those things. They're all over the damn place.
It's whatever you like. Andrew builds his own AR-10 line, BP-10, and he uses the parts that he thinks are the best.
Right. But you have somebody else using different parts that they think are the best.
But they're like, and I'm going to probably fuck this up.
Sure.
But I think that he said one of the first AR-10 manufacturers were like Knight's Armament.
I would say probably there, because that's where Stoner went. I mean,
he says that he's using Knight's Armament pattern. So if you have a Knight's Armament lower,
right,
his upper will fit on it.
Right.
But then, and he and I talked
because what's the Knights makes the SR-25, I think, right?
Something like that.
I think, yeah.
But Andrew's like, but if you've got an AR from this manufacturer, your uppers and lowers won't jive with mine.
Yeah.
He said, but
like DPMSs are a big platform base.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they are. I don't know the differences in them. I don't pretend to,
If memory serves, Andrew went with the Knight's Armament pattern because that was like the first one. And what he considers most people. So if you had to say there's a mil-spec, there's not. But if you said, what would be the OG, I think it's Knight's Armament. But now I would need to verify.
But I mean, OG, I would say probably isn't correct because, like, you look at the early. Remember, even Brownells was doing those AR-10s, the original like charging handles in the carry handle, AR-10s.
Yeah,
that's the OG, not the Knights. The Knights was the new OG almost to a degree.
Right.
Is what Stoner was trying to make as a standard, maybe. But kind of like DPMS builds are a certain level. But yeah, how many other types are there? Like who does what and. Good luck finding out.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're exactly right, man. You're exactly right. I mean, so at least if you got a mil-spec rifle, you know that as long as you order a mil-spec part,
right,
it should fit with minimum to no fitting.
Well, that's the cool thing is like whether you've got, we'll say if you've got a Aero Precision lower and you buy an HK 416 upper, guess what? It's going to mate on it and it's going to shoot. It's going to work.
Gonna work.
I mean, you buy LWRC and LMT, their shit's all gonna work. The only thing you get wonky differences is like if it doesn't use the buffer tube, like the MCX doesn't, you have to put a little adapter on. I think the Brownells, the PR-180s, I don't remember if those require an adapter or if they can just straight go on your AR lower, but they still work with an AR lower. I mean, and that's a little more off the mil-spec base, but it's like. Yeah, any other one of my uppers I've got, it's a TNTE with a PSA lower. They got a Bushmaster and Rock River in there, and Colt. You can swap all that shit around, and big deal.
Or you just buy a Colt and be done with it.
Oh God, I knew since I said Colt, you were going to do that. Just buy a Colt, and be done with it.
And when I say buy a Colt, and be done with it, I don't mean any Colt. Get the 6920 or something based off the 6920, because.
Okay, now correct me if I'm wrong. Is that what most of shit's based off of, though?
The 6920, and I know this is correct. Anybody out there going, no, this is fucking real talk. The 6920 is the gold standard for AR-15s.
Okay,
as far as
a plain Gen M4 setup, basically.
As far as being able to endure what the military trials would force upon this rifle, and it functioned. As far as the testings, the platings, the Rockwell testings, the Carpenter 158, bolts, all this stuff, the Colt 6920 is the gold standard of ARs. Now, I'm not saying that there's not better.
Right.
Because here again, and Andrew does nickel boron.
Right.
And, the 6920 is a phosphate. A phosphate carrier where Andrew does nickel boron. And I asked Andrew, why do you do nickel boron? He goes, well, it has more self-lubricity. It's a better plating. It's self-lubricity. It cleans better. It's a better plating. So I'm not saying they're not better. But if you're going to buy an AR, your measuring stick should be equal to or better than a 6920. If it's below, like the Smith & Wesson M&P, that if you're going to go out and shoot 1,000 rounds a year. I'm sure it'll be fine, but it wouldn't be what I would buy to keep in my truck to fend off the zombies.
Damn Colt snob.
Man, Colt builds, and I don't give a flying fuck how many people's gonna roll their fucking eyes. Colt builds a nice rifle.
I've honestly never shot one or played with one of their rifles. I never have. Cool. Shit.
Well, I'm here by myself. Oh, there's my co-host. I would like to introduce you to Kawaka 47.
That was weird.
Otherwise known as High Point Dave or Iron Man.
It's Dave from High Point, by the way. Not High Point Dave.
Not High Point Dave. It's whatever the fuck I say it is.
That's true. I was looking up, as you were talking about Colt, they're short-lived. The LE 901 16S, it was their modular 308 that you could put a maglev adapter in and run and change the upper to 5.56. I thought that was kind of a cool design thing, but it just didn't catch on.
Man, I hate to
be honest.
Be honest. So
be honest.
Colt's
not perfect. It's okay. They're not perfect. Go ahead and be honest.
They're not perfect. But I think that one of the problems Colt has is people like me.
Talking FUDs, or what are you getting at?
I feel like that. Let's just say Colt developed a striker-fired handgun.
Okay.
With a polymer receiver.
Okay.
I would lose my fucking mind. And I'd be on the phone to Camille and then Rich, and then every one of those swinging dicks I know up there, and I'm like, what the fuck? You're Colt. You're not Glock. Don't do that.
Hey, okay, to a certain degree, I get what you're saying, because that's like asking Glock to make a 1911. It just wouldn't make sense. It'd be kind of stupid.
Well, I couldn't do that right anyway.
But there's nothing wrong with doing new things and not just always retreading your old shit. Now the difference with Colt retreading their old shit right now is bringing all the revolvers back was a great move.
Yes.
But are their 1911s really anything? I think they've just now started doing it. They now have a red dot model, don't they?
Yeah,
they times a little bit.
Shot. And you know what, man? I poo-pooed on that.
Because you don't like dots. For that
right.
very reason.
And they're like, hey, Hunter, we want to show you our new shit. But
that's where I have fun teasing you, calling you a FUD, because that is you being a FUD at that point, because there's a dot on it. And if it's got a dot and a rail, I'm more interested in that 1911 than going, shit, all right, hell yeah, it's got a dot. Okay, here it is, the optics ready. 45 and 1911. Yeah, but no rail, though. I want the rail and a dot. Come on, Colt. Get with the shit. It's 2025.
If you want a rail, they got a rail.
But a rail and a dot.
Man, so here's the novel thing that Colt does. I know this is gonna sound weird.
Go for it.
But just hear me out.
I'm here. I'm listening. Jesus, spit it out.
As far as I know, and I could be wrong, but as far as I know, every Colt pistol that they ship out has got sights on it. So,
and we're back to FUD territory. Got it. Okay. Cool. Back to FUD territory. I understand. I got it. I got you, man. What the fuck?
Colts diehard fans like myself, we could be holding them back because they might be up there going, let's introduce a fucking polymer double stack, striker fired handgun.
And see, shit, mine keeps hanging up. What the hell?
The diehard will be like, what the fuck are you thinking? And we'll hate it.
Yeah, and you're right. You guys could be holding it back. I'm not advocating for Colt to go do a striker fired polymer frame pistol, but dear God, I would think Colt, they should be deep into the 2011
It's
craze.
2011. I'm gonna hit you now.
Yeah, they should be deep in the 2011 craze. Why? Why not?
Why?
Why not? Because they're awesome. It's like a 1911, but with 20 plus rounds of capacity, plus a red dot. You know.
Well, now, so 20 round capacity. We're gonna put a red dot on it. Let's put a rail. Let's put a light.
Yeah.
I want a ambi safety. I want an ambi mag release.
Yes. Okay.
I want.
You can let go of the AV mag release. I mean, it's
I
2011,
want a threaded barrel with some sights. With
hold on. Okay, you're going that route. Sorry.
Want an optic with an optic.
Yeah.
I mean, what I want is on my 1911. I want a 1 power red dot, but I want to put a magnifier in front of it.
See, stop being a FUD. You're just being a butthole at this point.
I'm not.
They have all the standard models they're known for. They can have those, but they can do. This is not a 2011, but you can still do a 2011. So you can get your red dot, a thread barrel, with a rail for a light, with a shit ton of capacity in a 2011 from Colt would be badass.
But let me ask you this. Okay, I will not.
Springfield's doing it. Kimber's doing it.
Oh well, fuck if Kimber's doing it.
I bet Smith's got one coming out probably.
Yeah, but Kimber and Smith and Wesson are like the redheaded stepchilds of 1911.
Oh my god!
I mean, Smith and Wesson uses a fucking external extractor, so they're not really a 1911. I mean, of course,
aesthetically, yeah, I agree. That doesn't look as good.
Of course, if you want to be really, really fucking technical about it, if it ain't made by Colt and it was made after 1924, it ain't a 1911.
Well, that's just like technically nobody makes a 2011 but Staccato / STI because they patent the name to it. Everybody else is a double stack 1911. So yeah, give me a double stack 1911.
But tell me what. Okay, here's my question for you. If myself, I carry a 1911 most of the time, and I love little Colt Defender. Okay, come out with that Combat Elite Defender. Ooh, that thing is sexy. But anyway, the only thing that I feel like a 1911 needs, and it doesn't always need, but sometimes, is a rail. A rail is fine. I get it. You know, if it's a home defense pistol, it needs a rail for a light. I don't have no problem with that whatsoever.
Right.
But me, I'm going to carry this gun for defense. Am I going to conceal carry a 2011 with a light and a rail and a threaded barrel and silencer sight and fucking let's put a can on it and 3 spare mags?
You're trying so hard to be a FUD. I literally carry this thing right here, just like this.
All right, but hold on. All right,
20 plus round magazine, red dot, thread barrel, and a flashlight. What? Hold on. You're just saying you're bitching about if Colt did all those modifications to a gun to do that. Yeah, that would be cool. People would buy it. Doesn't matter if you want to carry it that way or if they want to carry it that way. Give the option available there to carry it like that.
Here you go.
Yes, you're carrying super simplistic and simple.
That's
and you know what? And a lot of times I even just carry this. Okay, your only complaint probably is it has a red dot on it,
which is gay.
Okay, see again because you're trying so hard to be a FUD.
But you know, look how itty bitty this is. Look how itty bitty it is. Do you know how easy this conceals?
Yeah, about like this thing.
Right, but this has got a metal receiver.
Okay.
No fucking plastic bullshit on it.
Okay, so you're fudding again. I got it.
It's not funny. It
is being funny because you don't like the idea of them doing something modern. I didn't say drop their line. I said add in and do like a 2011.
Would it be wrong for me to say, if you want a 1911, I don't want you to have any Colts?
I don't really care. If they don't offer what I want, I won't buy it.
Not used.
Currently, they don't.
But it's like, you know, if somebody's like, I gotta have 28 fucking rounds on board with a fucking rail. I mean, now look. Now, and I have no problem with capacity. I have problem with your EDC capacity. I carry 8-round magazine and an 8-round magazine in my back pocket.
17.
Okay. 17 of what?
9mm. 17 and 21, 9mm.
Okay, but now,
What are you arguing about?
I mean, look at that.
Oh, I'm carrying 45. God, you're
I mean, look at that ashtray.
such a fud.
It's not.
Hey, make it in 45. Give me a double stack in 45. I'm cool with that. Para Ordnance did it for years. They were cool.
Now, Paraordnance.
They're
If
gone.
I need to review one of their new guns, who would I talk to?
Well, they're gone. I just already said that like 3 times. They're gone.
Ooh.
They're not gone. They're not gone because they're guns. They're gone because they became part of Freedom Group and they got fucked over.
Yeah,
That's why they're gone. Don't even give me that bullshit. It's not that.
But here's what I feel like.
You don't like 2011 style guns. I get it.
I know, but I think people get wrapped up in the EDC.
Well, who's talking EDC? You're the one going there. I just said I would like it if Colt made like a 2011.
For what though? I mean, if you're gonna go,
why not? Why did High Point make pistol caliber pistols based off of the carbine? Because they can, and it's a fun thing to own. Use it wherever the hell you want.
So, and I've got a good rebuttal for this.
Let's hear it. Hitting that mezcal?
Bet your ass I am.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I can tell.
Here's the deal, and this is probably not a secret. Colt is a small company. Okay. They have got a handful of engineers.
Yep.
And they do not have the bandwidth to have an extensive line of guns. This is a no-shitter.
Whoa. Now you're already screaming bullshit. Extensive line of guns. Let's look at how many SKUs. Let's see. Pistols, Defender, Commander, 19 Classics, Competition.
What do they have in common?
Delta Elite, CCU, Custom Shop. That's just your pre-header definitions before. Let's go Defender here. There's 3. There's 6. There's 9. Okay, let's see. Commander. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 18. 19 Classics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, just 6 there. I'm going to go counting because I don't care. Don't give me that shit, man.
So is that 40 completely different guns? Like, each 1911 is a completely different design. In each model between a Defender and a Commander and a 1911 government model, they're all different sizes. They're complete. They're all
1911s, and a 2011 is so different out of the realm of possibilities.
There's a lot.
No. I didn't say it's the same gun. I said it's not going to be so far out of the realm they couldn't figure it out.
Right, but now let me ask you this. Colt says, okay, we've got some time to develop a new product. Do we develop a 2011, or do we introduce a Blue Python? What are we going to sell more of?
Probably 2011.
Are you on fucking crack? Like cheap ass crack?
Okay, we hit like maximum flood level with you and your obsession with school.
It's not. It's. Here's the thing. Like, for example, each SKU that Colt has listed, they don't make those all the time.
Okay.
They will tool
up.
That's
fine. That's great. HK doesn't make all the same shit all the same time either. They tool up different times. I get that.
I guarantee you, HK has more manpower than Colt.
They probably do.
Colt is still, man. I've been there a couple times.
And
it's
that's
a small company,
and that's fine.
So they,
fine. I'm just saying, if they want to modernize, yes, they finally put. I'm looking at it. Where'd it go? Damn it! I don't know their gun lineup. It's the Combat Elite, the Competition. Yeah, they got 2 dot models. They're both single stack. That's cool. That's good. They don't have one with rail. I like a 19 with a rail because I have plenty that are non-railed, so I like ones with rail.
Those are geared only towards shooting pistol matches.
That's fine. But then when you look at their is the kind of South Combat Elite, Jesus.
Those are sexy.
Delta. Okay, well there's Delta Elite 10mm with a rail.
Look at that.
Give me that fucker with a red dot on it. The Delta Elite 10mm with a red dot, that'd be sweet. What's the CCU? Okay, CCU. There's a 19 or a 9-45 model that has a rail. I'm like, damn it! Now give me it with a dot. That alone can still be single stack. That's not outside the wheelhouse that damn much, dude. Don't tell me that it is.
Let me ask you this: What is your affinity with red dots on a handgun?
I like them. We've been over this.
Right, but why?
This is why we're doing our little shooting drill bit.
Right.
I like them. I think they're faster to acquire sights on target than iron sights.
Really?
We've talked about this. That's why we created our whole little defensive drill.
So let me ask you this:
Why are you defending Colt just because I'm asking them to make something cool and different?
Oh, no, I'm not.
I like their product line. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying make something new.
If Colt had twice the manpower, and I knew that they could develop that shit, and it wouldn't affect the rest of the product line, then I don't give a fuck. But because here's the thing, man. Because I've talked to Camille about this, and they'll have a dozen good ideas for product development.
Sure,
they got to pick one or two.
I understand that.
Pick the one or two that they feel like is going to sell the best.
But I look at the lineup and it's like, okay, they just made one that was a little bit different, a different finish. They added something a little bit different. Like I feel like they're still doing easy layups. That's what it looks like to me. Look at their lineup.
But easy layups score points.
Do they though? With more fuddy crowds, yes. But there's a whole lot of newer shooters that won't even look at. I'm not bashing you, saying calling you a FUD. I'm saying there's a whole bunch of people out there that everything Colt's doing, none of them give a shit. They're going to go like, well, I want a 2011 because I picked one up at a store one time that was really sweet, and so they're looking at that. You got Staccato, you got Burst's doing one now, Kimber's obviously doing theirs. All the Turkish ones are coming in. Colt could do one and do a good one, and it would sell like a son of a bitch.
Cool, but a lot of those new shooters don't even know what they don't know.
But they know they don't want a standard single stack 1911. But they know they don't want that.
But do they? Had they held it? Have they put 1,000 rounds through one? Have they took a class with one?
Oh, fuck 1,000 rounds in a class. I'm talking about people that are just new shooters that don't want limited capacity of 10 rounds plus. They want more. I want more.
You know who I see Colts? I know you're like FUD. Colts demographic?
FUDs?
No. People who fucking carry their guns for tools and they use them.
See, I wouldn't think that. I would think most people are not carrying these things.
Oh yeah, a lot of people carry. I mean, a lot of people.
Good if they do. I'm saying I look at them and think absolutely not. People are not buying. I think most Kimbers or any other high-end 1911 out there, most people are buying them and not carrying the damn things. Don't go on the Kimber rant. I'm saying most people buying expensive handguns in general are not carrying them flat out. Flat out. Most people are not carrying a high-end gun.
Well then, but why?
Because they spend a lot of money on it.
And
now they're buying PSA daggers, which is a smart move because if you blow somebody away with it, it's $300. It's gone. No big deal.
So,
see ya.
You know what? I'm gonna dispute that methodology.
Okay, dispute all you want.
Let's say I'm of the mindset I'm not gonna buy it. I'm gonna carry a cheap gun because if something happens, God forbid, and I lose it, I'm out. So I buy a Glock.
Okay, hold on. Let's make sure instead of saying cheap, we'll say inexpensive or less expensive than say $1,000.
All right, fine. But let's say that I can run my Colt better than I can that Glock, which I absolutely can.
Okay, well, hold on. Now you're putting a whole other category of most people that carry probably don't even shoot their guns enough, anyways. So
okay,
you're cutting it down to like guys like you and I, more elitists that do know how to shoot all of our shit. All of our shit. Any gun you hand us, we're going to competently run.
Right.
The average person carrying a gun, come on. You know how bad Kazuka classes are. They don't know how to shoot.
Now, I can't argue with that point, Dave, even a little bit. But my point is, if I can run that Dan Wesson Specialist better than any handgun I got. And so I carry it because I'm competent with it. And if something happens, God forbid, and I've got to defend myself, and I save my life or Candy's life or my mama's or somebody, and they take that gun and they cut it up with a fucking chop saw, it served its purpose.
Sure.
Hey, I need another fucking specialist. Bam.
I'm still going to say most people are not rocking a high-end gun to carry, or if they're carrying it knowing they're never going to use it because they're only going to safe places in their own minds.
Right.
You know.
Carry.
But the only thing I wouldn't carry would be my John Wick gun because that thing like doesn't run for shit because I've modified it to be this goofy, silly thing. But anything else I have, I absolutely have no problem carrying. I've carried 1911s for years. You know, it was actually a Llama Maxi 1911, believe it or not, my first handgun.
I mean,
Carried a shit on that thing.
This thing is a $1,400 pistol.
Yeah.
I carry it all the time, and I'm pretty damn good with it.
And I bet most buyers of that gun do not actually carry it.
That's crazy. Well, then why spend $1,400 on a gun designed to carry if you don't carry?
Because people just don't buy it because they like the brand of something.
Well, I like this gun because I know Colt made it, and I know it's going to be reliable.
And that's fine. I'm still saying, if Colt made a 2011, look at the Springfield Prodigy. They're double stack 1911. I've shot several of them. Shot great. I hear people say there's some issues with them, whatever. I don't care if it has MIM parts in it because guess what? If it goes on me, we've talked about this, I'll replace the shit. But that gun, it looks good. I like the design of it. I would buy one. If Colt made one of their own that was a Colt, obviously it would look different enough. I'd be like, oh, hell yeah, that's awesome.
I would be on board with Colt making a 2011. And not that my save means a flying fuck, but only if I knew it would not affect the rest of their product line.
Jesus. Okay, fine. Then let's say that. Say it doesn't affect the product line, and they make a 2011. Are you still going to be pissy about it? Or are you actually going to be like, oh, cool. It's not for me, but cool.
I would say, okay, you bastards. You're telling me
that you don't have to like everything they make.
Hold on. Let me finish my...
Go for it.
I'd be like, okay, you bastards. You can devote all this time, effort, and energy to developing a 2011, and I don't have a fucking Anaconda chambered in 45 Colt. What the fuck, Over? That's what I need.
Okay. I mean,
but if they had the ability to engineer and develop numerous new SKUs on the regular,
they could.
Fine. I'd be fine with it, and I wouldn't want it, and I wouldn't like it, but I'm like, good for you if you're selling them. Fan-fucking-tastic. But it's like, okay, we got to
look at Dan Wesson. Look at the DWX. That basically is like a 2011.
No.
Yeah.
No, brother.
I mean, it's a CZ frame with a 1911 top. It's like a 2011.
That is what a 2011 wishes it was.
Oh, my God.
You ever shot one?
No, I have not. I like it, dude. I have nothing against the DWX.
I'm gonna tell you.
I have 3 PO9s. I should get DWX because I got magazines to feed the thing.
I'm gonna tell you what about that DWX. It is a fucking. It's spooky. It is a weird, odd, beautiful. It's like losing your virginity all over again, man. I'm telling you,
because your hand, it tells you it's a CZ, but you look at the top half, you see 1911, and it shoots like a 1911.
So
because it's like a 2011.
But Dan Wesson, CZ has got the horsepower to pull that off. You know, now that CZs, we got the Colt CZ group going on. Fucking maybe, but that DWX, man. First mag I run.
How about here? I'm gonna throw it to the wall. Give me this. How about Colt does, since Colt, CZ, DWX, or Dan Wesson all one same thing? Give me a Colt 2011 that runs off the PO9 mags. There you go. You want to shake things up? Don't use the stupid, overly priced, unreliable 2011 mags. I mean, you can get reliable ones, but they're pain in the ass. But yeah, change the frame out on the DWX. So literally, it's 1911. And feed off CZ PO9 mags.
Well, if they're going to be
awesome,
the Colt ought to just come out with a DWX with a Colt logo on it and make it a little different.
Well, we make it a little different by giving it an actual 1911 frame, but
I don't know though, man.
But feeding from a high cap mag.
I'm a 1911 guy.
As am I, but I don't mind the all through traditional. I like modern ones. I like traditional ones.
I've held 2011s, and I've shot nice, $3,000-$4,000 2011.
I say, and not all 2011s are created equal. I'm not pretending they are.
I've shot some really nice. I took a class with his dad runs a gun store in Raleigh.
Anyway, it's okay.
He had one in $4,000, Stadacos or
Staccatos. Yeah.
Run it.
I've shot some Staccatos.
Amazing pistol. But I'm gonna tell you this: the ergonomics of that CZ receiver are superior to the 1911 when you go to double stack.
I'm not disputing that. I'm not arguing that one bit.
So if Colt's going to do a
2011s, a lot of times can be too thick for most people. It's almost like old school Berettas with their original grips.
So
They're
if
too thick.
Colt's
I
going
get
to
that.
do a 2011, base it off that DWX. Because holy fuck, that thing is amazing.
Well, okay, we're getting more technical. Part of that too is going to be I think this is not a PO9 mag, but I think a PO9 mag for its high gas capacity it is considerably smaller than most of 2011 mags, which is why the grip ends up being so damn big. So I'm still saying I bet you could take the DWX frame, actually make it on 1911 using PO9 mags because they're so damn thin. Shit, man, you can go thin. Do the fucking the SIG 365.
Stop.
I mean, look at this. Look at this. These are the same capacity magazines. Look at that.
No,
this thing is. No, but dude, the point. No. Stop. Don't cry about the name. The point being is these two magazines are the same capacity, and how much smaller this one is. Meaning you could still fit. You could go a 1911, a little bit thicker, but not 2011 thick.
That's a stack and a half.
20...
Your SIG is a stack and a half, ain't it?
No, it is a double stack, dude.
But it's a double stack single feed.
Yeah. So's the Echelon mag. What's your point?
Is that not a double stack, double feed?
No, dude. Double feed? We're talking subguns now? Dude. Double stack, single feed. HK, SIG, and Springfield Echelon right here. What are you on?
I'm talking about like this.
Drinking less. Yes, they're double stack magazines, dude.
No, I get it, but I can't see I can't see how the rounds are staggered or stacked. Maybe you need a better camera. Aren't you a videographer? That was funny.
Okay. Well, that was fun. We got nowhere and fast with that one because we're just arguing.
Well, I mean, that's fine. I will.
I'm just saying I think Colt has more capacity to do some more modern things. I'm not complaining that they're doing the old school revolvers. That's great. People wanted those for eons. They always said, well, you can't do that. Well, clearly they could because they're doing it. They've been doing it now.
And you know what? We got one man to thank for that.
Okay.
So,
I don't know the history of that shit, man. I'm just it's cool that I don't care. It's fine. It's cool that they're doing it.
Right.
I'm just saying their demographic for the most part is mostly older, typically funnier people.
Yeah.
And they could make, come on, dude, if High Point can do an AR-15 completely out of the warehouse, I think Colt could do a 2011 style. We'll say that. Because a Prodigy is technically not 2011. Kimbers aren't technically 2011s. The Turkish ones technically aren't 2011s. 2011s only come from Staccato.
Right.
Pair ordinances. They beat everybody to that gambit. They had double stack 1911s for eons.
Do you remember when Springfield come out with that GI model and it took Paramags?
Very vaguely, yes. Because I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool, and I wanted to get my hands on it. I didn't.
I bought one of those, and it was fucking awful.
Well, but also, hasn't Springfield kind of had a checkered past and a lot of their shit like that?
Well, but I mean, the ergonomics of it was not amazing. It was not. While it looked a lot like a 1911, it did not feel good. It didn't have that.
Yeah, because it was too damn thick. I remember holding it once, thinking it was a thick bitch. But a lot of the pairs can come off that way. But again, dude, this is 2025. Technology has changed. When you can fit 17 rounds in this tiny ass magazine that's smaller by a lot from every other 17 rounder I have sitting here, shit can be done.
I like high capacity rifles. I want an AR that holds 175 rounds, but I want my 1911 to hold 7.
Now we're just exactly. Now we're just degrading here into complete shit.
I feel like if we're going to focus on capacity,
it's not about capacity. I'm just saying, as a modernized gun, if the order for something that isn't the same old shit.
I'm going to make a generalized statement.
Okay.
If we're going to focus on capacity, handgun capacity, rifle capacity,
okay,
let's make an AR mag that holds 100 rounds. That's as big as a 30 round. I mean, that's what I want. I want a fucking 100-round magazine that is, And Magpul did that 60-round drum, and that was cool.
Yeah.
But it didn't look sexy. So
honestly, it depends on the build you put it with.
Well,
it depends on the build.
I feel
I've got the Surefire 100. While the thing is long, you put in the right build, it looks pretty badass.
I feel like all of the engineers should be. Let's take 3 engineers from every manufacturer and set them figuring out. Make me a 60-round mag that is 30% bigger than my 30-round mag. Figure that shit out, y'all.
You do realize the Surefire 60 is the same length as the 30-round magazine,
but
it's a little bit wider.
Right.
It's not that much wider. Like it's fine. You can shove it in most like double mag pouches.
Is it no problem?
Okay, so funny thing is, I've got like literally a Gen 1 Surefire 60. No, it's very ammo picky.
Okay.
My 100-rounder is like 2 or 3 years older.
Now
it feeds everything, dude.
And it holds 100 rounds?
100 rounds.
What the fuck? And how fat is it?
It's same as the 60. It's just longer. It's like that long. It's as long as like a Galil 50-round mag.
And it runs. It
runs amazing. I've never had an issue with it. The only thing I'll say is I've never run steel case through it because the Surefire 60 never liked steel case. But the Surefire 60 was even particular on brass case. But the 100, never an issue.
How many dollars is the 100-round Surefire?
I think I actually bought it from Surefire when I knew a dealer working for them at the NRA show years ago. I think we paid $100 for them, so it was like $1 a round.
All right, so I mean, you can get a 30-round Magpul PMag for like what, $12, $10.
I'd say $12, $15.
All right, I'm gonna buy one of the. My buddy's got a Surefire 60.
Mm-hmm.
It's a single feed up.
Double to quad.
Is it the 60 or the 100?
They're the same. They're double on top like a regular AR mag.
Right.
They're a double on the top half with the magwell.
Right.
And then the rest of it it's quad.
What?
Are you serious? You don't know how?
I've heard. Dude. Man, I've never seen one.
Hang on, I think I've got one. Like close by I can grab.
Damn it. Now you have really piqued my interest.
You're killing me, man.
So I would love to see the engineering in that.
Oh shit. Okay, I don't know where it's at now.
Well,
hang on.
Way to fucking ruin the podcast.
Oh, ruin it! Come on, come up in the FUD.
Now I know the code to your safe.
Why is my safe not opening? What the fuck?
That's the wrong code. That's the third time you've typed in the wrong code.
Oh. There you go. 100.
Fucking wow. So it's double stack on the top, and that's 4 wide.
Yep. There you go. 30 rounder.
Look at that. Have you got an AR you can stick that in?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's fucking sweet, dude.
Can you get them on Amazon? I gotta have. Oh, fuck. I gotta. Woo.
Yeah. This thing runs like a champ.
And it's 100% reliable. No issues, no problem.
I just said this thing is a champ. Like I said, my 60 is several years older. Even feels different, like the texture of it all. And the 60 is a pain in the ass. It's very particular on brass. But this thing, I've only fed it brass, but it hasn't given a shit what brass I put into it.
How shorter is the 60?
Dude, I kid you not, a 60 is the same length as a 30.
Okay.
I mean, well, okay. You know what? Okay, there you go. There's the 30 and the 100.
Right.
Maybe the 60 is actually like that much. It's like to there. So it's a hair longer. 2 rounds longer just because of spring.
It really doesn't change the profile of the gun.
No. And I think my 60 is out in the garage, so I can't get that.
That's all right. I'm going to.
And I've also got a Schmeiser, German company. ATI imports them. They make a 60 round that's similar to the Surefire. It feeds okay. I think again, doesn't like brass, or it doesn't like steel, but brass it feeds fine.
But the Surefire would be the way to go.
I'm not even telling you that, man. My Magpul D60, my drum, that is the most reliable 60 round mag I've ever used.
But they're ugly.
This is a little more hunter style aesthetic here.
Yeah, that's sexy.
And yes, this 100 runs brass.
I love that. Like, I can feel my heart palpitating.
It's cool, dude.
I'm gonna at least get 2 of them. Now let me ask you this: loaded, it's pretty heavy though, yeah.
What do you think, dude? It's 100 fucking rounds.
But I mean, holy shit, dude! If something happened, and you had to run outside and defend yourself against an angry mob.
Like, this is your starting mag. Yeah, you should have 30s on here, and you start with this thing.
Yeah. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, you really get suppressive fire down or accuracy by volume. Either way, you've got it covered.
You're out of your fucking BBDs with that one mag, and you got 100 rounds on deck.
I can't believe you do not know those are actually a thing.
Man, I've heard a little bit about them, but here's the thing, Dave. I have never known anybody that had one.
Okay.
So I've heard about them and I've seen them.
I'm assuming they still make them.
Oh, and don't get me all horny for it and tell me you can't get them no more.
I have no idea.
I like those whole bunches.
Yeah, it looks like on Gun Gear Warehouse, it's $180.
180, fucking wow.
Yeah. Dude, I told you I got mine from a friend at the show. I got like a dealer friend. We're working at NRA show. He was working the Surefire booth for them.
All right, next SHOT Show, I'm gonna hit Surefire.
Good luck.
Yeah, are they hard to deal with?
I've never had any luck at all whatsoever. A buddy of mine works on the company now, and I asked him, and he goes, good luck, man. He goes, they're not really interested in helping people in the industry and shit.
B&T is in litigation with them right now.
I saw that.
Over the Rotex 10 or Rotex X.
I mean,
yeah.
You can get the ATI Schmeiser. It doesn't look as good on Gun Mag Warehouse. It's on sale for $26. It's polymer, but it doesn't look as good, though.
Does it work?
Yeah, I've got one. Actually, I got 2 or 3, actually.
Is it reliable?
It's more reliable than my 60 Surefire.
Well, all right. I don't know, man. I like that 100 rounder. I like to have like 4 of them.
Surefire 60 says out of stock. Okay, I'll tell you what. I just saw it. It just said Surefire 60 round. Oh, it's a search. Oh, the Surefire 60 round magazine has been discontinued. While the indication that it was still in production release, the current listing is confirmed that it is now considered rare and no longer manufactured. If you're looking for this magazine, you may find it available through resale platforms, blah, 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 blah. So if you want 100, you better get on it and spend the coin for it.
So you reckon the 60 was discontinued for reliability problems?
Probably.
Right. But how would
I only know one other person that had one, and Kelly at work, and I think he said his was picky. And I talked to other guys who all screamed they didn't fucking work. But did they really run the guns or run the mags? I don't know.
Has it got? Let me ask you a stupid question. Because now I'm really interested.
Okay.
It's got a single follower, obviously, that you look at.
Yeah.
But what does it do?
Black magic. I don't know.
Like, what is it?
It springs like that are stacked. I think there is like another follower that this follower will then sit with.
What if they had 2 followers?
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? No, there is a divider in here, so it's like 2 mags. But no, there's not, because I don't know that. I don't know how this follower goes out of the way. I have no idea. Let's see if we can find an exploded view on one.
What if it's got 2 30-round followers on each side of it, and all 3 followers
to this, it's still screen pressure
are lined up? but they stop. Well, I don't know. I'm not an engineer. That is cool.
Yeah.
I want one so bad. Man.
Let's see. Yeah, no, they're kind of cool. I think it's the springs, man.
But what when you get past the magazine,
I don't have the answers for that, man.
what is pushing on the bullet?
See, he's pulling the cover off, and there's springs, more springs, more
God,
springs.
I want to buy one and cut it up with a chop saw just to look at it.
Well, there's videos. Okay, yeah, it's got its own weird follower system, dude. This is from Surefire. I'll send you this link.
All right.
I'll put it in our little. I think this group chat thing works. I think, or some damn where. Comments, banners, media style, private chat.
Ooh, private chat. What do
There you go. I just sent you a link.
All right, I'm gonna open that in a new tab.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
Well, now that I've talked to somebody that says they're reliable, I'm gonna get at least one.
I said my 100 is reliable.
Yeah,
my 60 is very picky.
Because think about it. You're going out of town. That takes the place of 3 30-round mags,
And then some.
and a wee bit. So,
Let's see, another show and tell comparison for you. I'll grab Magpul's 40. Magpul's 40 rounders, right?
I've got some 40 rounders from Magpul.
Okay.
Now they've been 100% reliable. Wow. Let me see the bottom of it, please. Okay, so it's a couple inches, 3 inches longer.
Yeah. Oh, let me get back up. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 4 fingers. 4 fingers longer. Man hands.
Right. It's not amazing.
But 40 rounds, 100.
100. That's almost twice as much.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, man, and I feel like you said, if something happened, that's what you got in the gun.
Right. Right.
And if you're uber worried, then you'll have a couple 30 rounds or 40 rounders in your chest rig.
Right. My go-to is usually the 30s on my chest and then 40 on my belt. Because the 40 just in your chest, it's kind of like up here.
Right.
It's fucking annoying.
Could you not rest your chin on it to make you more accurate? Come on, man. There's nothing wrong with a wee bit of humor. Something, Dave, that I want to complain about on this podcast.
Oh, God, here we go.
And I'm complaining about this podcast specifically.
Sure.
Since we started doing this, we talk way less on the phone.
I know. Because we have more discussion here and it's fun.
No. This is not a fucking substitution of us being buddies. You understand?
No, it's an enhancement. I
Right.
can see your ass and look at you and go, God.
But this is not like, okay, I'm going to have an hour and a half podcast with Hunter, so I don't have to talk to him on the phone until our next podcast. That ain't how that shit flies, Dumpling.
You're right.
Be better.
And you ready for this? The phone works both ways, brother.
Oh, every fucking time we talk on the phone, I call you. Don't let me. The call log out. I'm like, hey, man.
I think the mezcal's getting to you.
No, my brain is. I remember, I texted you yesterday. I'm like, hey, man, I'm in this really relaxing fucking bubble bath. Calgon, take me away. What are you wearing?
Let's see. I'm pretty sure I texted you yesterday with no response.
Really?
Let's see. Oh, yeah, look. I put a silencer died today. I'll talk about it tomorrow night. You didn't say anything.
I didn't know that I was required to.
Well, not a thumbs up or cool or damn. Nothing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's cool. It's all right. It's fine.
I'm sorry.
And before that, we texted quite a good bit before that. So, shut up. Stop being so high maintenance.
I am more high maintenance than I am FUD.
Say that again.
I am more high maintenance than I am FUD. That's real talk.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Dave. You're the yin to my yang.
Absolutely.
You know, as fucking gadgetry as you are, and into the most weird shit, even though I'm going to be honest with you, your stock went way up with me when you whipped out that 100-round fucking AR mag. I am super, super jelly. Fuck. Like I want one tonight.
Order one, dude. Fucking get him.
Oh, I'm a girl.
Okay.
Yeah, oh no, I got to have one of them.
At least it's kind of cool.
You know, yeah, that's fucking epic.
Honestly, the 60 gets pulled out for photos because it looks sick as shit.
Yeah,
but I don't run it very often.
But you know you know what that screams to me? When I see that magazine in an AR and it looks like it screams, "Fuck your gun laws." Like I want to. I mean, that's like yeah. So I feel like that's standard capacity. So
you can't go prone with this thing, dude.
Who the fuck shoots an AR prone anyway?
I'm pretty sure Marines do.
Yeah, well, I'm not a Marine no more, and I damn sure ain't getting on the ground. I was putting the brakes on my truck today, and it took me 17 minutes to get up. So, fuck. Yeah. So I feel like, Dave, now that there's a 100-round mag readily available, 30-round mags are reduced capacity.
Well, that's the thing. This readily available versus this or this. These are more readily available than this.
I'm going to start referring to my 30-round mags as reduced capacity.
Okay, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't do it until you get yourself one of these, though.
Oh, dude. That is the fucking cat's pajamas. I don't even give a fuck if it works. If you walked in the bank with that, fuck, I'd give you my watch. You know, I mean,
visually, it's cooler than Beta C mags. It's cooler than drums. It does.
Yeah,
it's intimidating. Looks badass.
60-round drum. I wanted it for the capacity, but I'm like, God, it looks like fucking hammered assholes.
Well, it's probably because all your ARs are like old school.
Yeah,
that modern AR, it looks pretty dope.
That looks fucking epic. Yeah.
I think
my favorite part about it is the ridiculousness of it. Does it reliably locks the bolt to the rear?
It's been too long. I don't know. The D60 does not. Magpul even tells you the D60 doesn't necessarily catch on empty.
Right.
But this thing, I don't recall. I just know reliable for shooting. This thing is way more reliable than my 60.
Well, lock it in.
No, it did. It did. That's what I was saying. It did.
Oh, well, there you go. All right. Nice. Fuck, I'm jealous.
I'll make sure my plan is going to shoot Saturday. I'll make sure I take an AR.
Take that motherfucker and film it. Oh. Yeah, that's cool. I feel like I've finally, after 27 years of hanging around you, I learned something.
I haven't known you that long, pal. Nice try.
Fuck, it feels like it. Can you download it? Like, let's say you only want to run 80 rounds. I'm just going to download my mag to 80 rounds. Will it run? I'm assuming it. You could download it to whatever, 5 rounds, 80 rounds, and it's fine.
You can put whatever you want in it.
All right. Good for them. All right. Well, that's the one thing I wanted to see, and hell, fucking wham! There it is, come to fruition. I was learning today about Einstein was talking about time as secular.
Okay.
It is not linear.
Okay.
While we as humans perceive time as a linear evolution, it is secular. Fuck. What's the word? Secular. Come on, Dave.
I'm just listening to what you're going after here, pal.
Six.
Time is a construct, dude.
Right. Cyclic. Not cyclic. Cyclic. Time is cyclical.
Cyclical.
Fucking thank you. I gotta stop drinking with you. Time is cyclical, which means that at any point in time, like today, you're fucking 20. Tomorrow you could be 73, and then the day after you could be 7. But we perceive time as a linear evolution, but it doesn't necessarily happen like that. So, one of Einstein's theories. So, what if that's true? And I've talked about getting all these engineers together to develop a reliable 100-round magazine for an AR, and then in their cyclical pattern, it came to fruition during our podcast.
Anything is possible.
I mean, I'm just saying. 97 seconds ago, to my starboard, a motherfucking wormhole opened up. And Sweet Pea stepped out of it and was hungry. So, man, there's something. I'll tell you this. We're running long. All right. So
we wrap it up. We're hour 45.
All right. I'm going to wrap it up with this story.
I have to work tomorrow.
I don't. Well, I got to go pick up a fucking.
See.
I got to go pick up a dirt bucket.
That's why you're so fired up, because you're not actually working tomorrow.
Well, I got to go pick up a dirt bucket from an excavator from Caterpillar. I bought a 48-inch smooth dirt bucket for cleaning ditches and grading. And I got a job coming up, and I'm going to fucking break it off in them. Anyway, yeah, fuck those motherfuckers. Anyway, so you don't have cats.
No.
But Dave, I'm going to tell you this. Cats are able to easily shift dimensions. And I know you feel like this is, I'm conjecture, but like the other day, I was looking for Sweet Pea. Candy, I'm like, I can't find Sweet Pea. I've been looking for her, been calling her. Candy's like, I'll come over and help you look for her. Is she outside? I'm like, I know she's not outside because I haven't let her out since Little Sugar passed. So Candy's like, I'll come over and help you look for her. So Candy shows up. We go through hey, you've been to my house. It's not a big house. So she and I go through the house 3 or 4 fucking times, looking under everything, opening every drawer. 3rd or 4th time we go to the fucking house, can't find her. We're an hour into it, and I'm like, okay.
Check the loft?
No, check the loft. She went up there, looked. I'm shaking treats, open a can of cat food, no Sweet Pea. So after like an hour and a half of checking, I'm like, okay, we got to do this methodical. What we're going to do is you and I both are going to walk into a room, and we're going to look through every nook and cranny of that room. And when you and I are both agreed she's not in here, we're going to pull the door to. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rooms in my fucking house. So we do that. Check every room, pull the door to. Check every room, pull the door to. When we're done, we're looking, can't find Sweet Pea. Been in my bedroom. I'm walking out of my bedroom, Dave, to pull the door to, and she's sitting in the middle of the fucking living room.
Yes, because the entire time that cat was intentionally fucking with you and keeping out of your eyesight as you're walking around looking for it, because cats are either 2 ways. Either the cat's mindset is you pet the cat, you love on the cat cat says, you must be God. Or you pet the cat, you love the cat says, I am God.
I asked Chad about it, and Chad agrees that cats travel, they're interdimensional beings, stepping frequently into the 5th kitty dimension and coming and going and reappearing at will.
I think they're the universe's ultimate smartass, and they do what they want, when they want, how they want.
But amazing, she could disappear. She could disappear in a fucking round room, a white round room with nothing in it. I let her in 7 seconds ago. There's no sweet pea here. I'm telling you.
They're expert. They're the predator, man. They know how to cloak and hide like the predator.
That fucking those kitty cats, man. That somebody can disappear like a fart in a tornado.
The dogs don't do that because they want you to see them. They want to be seen.
Right. And that brings me to my last thought. Love dogs. Love dogs. I feel like dogs are on this planet to protect human beings from the real world, the real tangible threats. You know, like the guard dog. I feel like cats are here to protect us from the bad shit in the spiritual world.
You're going like Egyptian on us.
I mean, think about it. You know, a lot of cultures have looked to cats to protect them from the negatives of the spiritual world, like demons and devils.
True. And there's also times where I think it's because they just couldn't figure the cats out either. And now we realize that the cats are just the ultimate universe's asshole. They just do what they want when they want, with no fucks given.
Well,
who knows? Who knows? We won't know in our lifetime.
No, but I feel good. At least I got that off my chest, so I feel better. And I reckon that's all I got, my brother. I know we run long, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a good time. And this is a holy shit, almost 2 hours. This is a long one. So yeah, all right.
Sorry, but
say goodbye, Hunter.
Sorry.
Say goodbye, Hunter.
Goodbye, Hunter.
Bye, buddy. Later.